Coming up on the December 3rd edition of Sports Extra, field hockey won a natty 2 weeks ago, and the Heels were also close to winning another.
And you know his name, the return of the MAC is now in session.
And a fencing prodigy has burst onto the scene at Carolina. This star athlete is definitely on point. All that and so much more. Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Could it be 2 national championships in the same semester? Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Adam Jordan.
And I'm Elena Pirtle. Carolina had a chance to pull it off if the Heels could notch 2 wins in women's soccer. Both matches would be close to home in Cary, the first Friday against undefeated Georgetown. The first half was a close affair, but the course of the game changed in the second half when Georgetown goalkeeper Ariel Schechtman went down with an injured leg that would cause her to leave the game. The Heels looked to capitalize as Madison Schultz drew a foul in the box to give the Heels a penalty in the 84th minute. On the ensuing penalty kick, Taylor Otto fired the ball straight at the replacement keeper, Lauren Gallagher, who tipped it over the bar to keep the score tied at 0. The game would need 2 overtimes, but the Heels would prevail thanks to an electric counter-attacking golden goal with a series of pinpoint passes between players finished off by Julia Ashley to seal the 1-0 victory and a trip to the NCAA championship game. Ashley's walk-off goal secured the Heels' first final game berth since 2012.
Honestly, I really want this. I want this so much, and my whole team does too. And I'm just trying to get us there.
Sunday's national championship match saw the Heels take on Florida State for the 3rd time this season. Chances were hard to come by in the game, with UNC's best chance coming from Rachel Dorwart's header in the 36th minute, which just missed the far post. The Seminoles would draw the first and only blood of the contest with a goal from Dallas Dorsey in the 60th minute. Dorsey's goal was her 7th of the season and 3rd against UNC. Take another look as Dorsey beats Lotta Wubbenmoy for position and taps the goal home at the near post. The Heels would continue to create chances, but none would find the net. UNC loses to Florida State 1-0 in Cary. The Noles became the first team ever to defeat the Heels 10 times in the history of the UNC women's soccer program.
It was a dreadful way to end the year for the Heels, but Carolina still had a season that it should be proud of. The team had a great year statistically, finishing with a 21-4-2 record. On average, the team scored just more than 2 goals per game, and the Heels gave up only a little more than half a goal. The team shut out opponents in 17 of its 21 wins, including its final victory of the season in the College Cup. Even though there might not be a new national championship banner when the new Fetzer Field opens, it was another strong year for the Tar Heels. Those other 21 national championship banners will still be there, but it's hard to believe it'll now be 7 years since the Heels last stood atop the collegiate women's soccer mountain. That's by far the longest title drought in program history, but UNC still holds more than half of the overall titles since the NCAA first held a women's soccer tournament in 1982. Despite other programs' recent success, Notre Dame, the team with the next most titles, would have to win every single championship until 2037 to surpass the Heels.
Continuing with soccer, the U.S. men's national team has a new head coach, and he's a Tar Heel. Berhalter was a star on the UNC men's soccer team from 1991 to 1993, racking up 13 goals and 10 assists during that time. The conference named him one of the top 50 men's soccer players in ACC history, and he went on to play for the men's national team, ending his career with 44 caps and 2 FIFA World Cup appearances. He's the first former U.S. player to coach the national team.
On to basketball. The women's basketball team, which many observers thought would be much improved this year, has hit a major rough spot. The Heels kept it close through the first quarter of their game with Maine with the help of this 3 by Stephanie Watts, but after that it was Maine all the way. The Bears were absolutely on fire from 3. 5 of their players were able to splash in 2 triples or more each. Parise Rossignol led the way with 4. Maine knocked in 16 total threes, shooting 48% from beyond the arc. Carolina's next game is against UNC Wilmington on Tuesday. The Heels hope to bounce back from their 3rd straight loss.
The men's basketball team hasn't started as well as Carolina fans have come to expect, and we look for some answers from basketball analyst Timothy Jones.
Carolina's biggest deficiency that needs immediate correction is its defense. Now, during the past couple of years, Carolina's perimeter defense hasn't been great, but this year not only are they struggling guarding the three ball, they're struggling to guard basic pick and roll defense. As fans witnessed during the loss to Texas, Longhorn guards, particularly Kerwin Roach, got into the lane at will and could do absolutely no wrong. Even in the win against UCLA, the Heels were down double digits early as the Bruins nearly mirrored Texas in the first half before the Heels got hot themselves and were able to slow them down enough. And, well, Michigan backdoored Carolina to death and got wide open jump shots off penetration and kickouts, shooting 57% for the game. Yes, nearly 60. Even before Roy's "we stink" quote after the game, I think virtually conceding the game against the Wolverines by benching his starters for a long period in the second half tells you all you need to know about his frustrations. Now look, it's still early and no doubt the Heels are facing the coach's wrath in practice, but if this theme continues against Gonzaga, Kentucky, and the first few games in conference, Roy might need to take that Duke approach from last year and incorporate more zone defenses. Now, there may be some zone is for cowards folk watching, but just hear me out. You saw how talented Duke was last year, but the Devils couldn't defend well. So they went to that Syracuse-esque zone for the rest of this year, and they were in overtime period away from the Final Four. Roy may not want to do it, but it's an option if things stay the way they are or, heaven forbid, get worse. Let's see what happens the next month. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Timothy. Now on to field hockey. In addition to being a national champion and the NCAA tournament MVP, senior field hockey captain Ashley Hoffman is the South Region Player of the Year. This was the second straight regional honor for Hoffman. Since her sophomore year, she has been a key cog in the UNC lineup, racking up 43 career goals, 24 career assists, and 110 career points. This season alone, Hoffman had 16 goals, 8 assists, and 40 points, while also helping limit opposing teams to a combined 16 goals. After winning ACC Defensive Player of the Year and the ACC Tournament MVP for a second straight season, Hoffman is hoping to add one more award to her impressive collection, National Player of the Year. That announcement is on December 10th.
We have all of these phenomenal athletes on our campus, and we do our best to report about them and their success. But what happens when the reporters try the sports? I put together 2 teams of Sports Extra athletes to bring you the first ever Sports Extra games.
With the second pick in the 2018 SX Games, Cam Newell selects Mo. Uh-oh. He thinks he's something now. Hey! Come on now. Come on now. Let's go from there. Y'all are journalists. Y'all can't do that. I'll tell you, I promise this rim is broke.
Yo, we're up 1-0. I think we're gonna sweep the series now. I think it's easy money from here on out.
Chip might be an assassin.
I don't know, I'm a pretty competitive person, and I saw it was me and Adrian, and I went, he's going down today. Yeah!
It's over. Come on.
We did take the L. Adrian, I literally let it slip through my fingers, and I'm sorry for that.
Y'all come over to my house, it's gonna be on the refrigerator. Boom!
Second place is first loser, as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't feel good.
They had us down in the first one, I'm not gonna lie. But we came back. We'll stick to playing them. Y'all stick to reporting.
Adam, I've got to say, I'm glad you're a better anchor than you are an athlete. Otherwise, we might be in trouble.
Well, I never claimed to be an athlete, but at least my team got the win. Carolina fans aren't often talking about UNC football in December.
But we're going to tell you why the Mac Attack has Heels supporters excited for next season.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
It's been a whirlwind of a week for the Carolina football team, following the firing of head coach Larry Fedora, who, despite being canned, will make $12 million in the next 4 years from UNC. Use whatever hashtag you want, return to the Mac, Mac Attack, Mac from the future, but one day after firing Fedora, Bubba Cunningham hired UNC and Texas head coach Mack Brown for the next 5 years. Mack Brown has had a long career in college football. He spent 10 years in Chapel Hill as the head coach in the 80s and 90s. After coaching the Tar Heels, Brown coached at Texas for another 16 years. He has an overall record of 238, 117, and 1, including 1 national championship with the Longhorns. Carolina has already hired 3 coaches to serve under Mack Brown. Tommy Thigpen stays on, going from safeties coach to co-defensive coordinator. Tim Brewster comes in as tight ends coach and recruiting coordinator from Texas A&M. And former Tar Heel Dre Bly is the new quarterbacks coach. On Tuesday, Carolina might have another quarterback coming into the program. Kelly Bryant will announce where he'll be playing football next season, and UNC is among the schools Bryant's considering. Along with Auburn, Missouri, and Arkansas, Bryant took two visits to Chapel Hill during the season and got overwhelming support from Tar Heel fans. In 2 seasons as the Tigers' starting quarterback, Bryant has 4,067 total yards, along with 15 passing touchdowns and 13 rushing TDs. Bryant led the team to last year's national championship before losing to Alabama. After the quarterback had a slow start to this season, Coach Dabo Swinney decided to bench Bryant in favor of top freshman quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Graduating this winter, Bryant will have 1 more year left of eligibility.
All right, Adam, Mac is back in Chapel Hill. How do we feel about it? What do we think he's going to bring to this football team?
Well, personally, I'm really excited. I think that he's going to bring back instant credibility to this program, and I think he's going to do a really good job in particular with in-state recruiting. So hopefully my prediction comes true. On Saturday, the UNC swimming and diving teams competed at the 2018 USA Swimming Winter National Championship. Junior Brianna Cameron swam the 200-meter butterfly and finished 6th. In addition, Sophie Linder swam in the 200-meter backstroke and finished 8th. Both Tar Heels swam qualifying times for the Olympic trials.
Just like swim and dive, for many, water polo is a sport seen once every 4 years at the Olympics. Reporter Colleen Brown jumped in with the men's club water polo team to learn more about the sport.
If you've never seen water polo before, it can look a bit chaotic. Men's club water polo co-captain Nick Burney describes it as a mashup of a number of different sports.
I like to think of water polo as a mix between like basketball, hockey, swimming, and wrestling. It's like a bunch of different sports combined into one. So basically you have 7 people on each team, 6 people in the water plus a goalie.
The team keeps positions fluid with the exception of the center, who wrestles for position right in front of the goal. Co-captain Matt Bravante.
Center is definitely the most physical position because essentially what you're doing is you're always vying for position. If the ball's on the perimeter, the center always wants to be facing the guy who has the ball.
To tread water, players use a technique called egg beating, which keeps them level in the water and helps them rise up when they pass or shoot. For this team, a big emphasis is put on stamina, and for good reason. Players are constantly either defending, on offense, or swimming from one end of the pool to the other.
It's one of the hardest sports to play just from like an endurance standpoint. And if you're going to spend 2 hours working out, you might as well get the most bang for your buck.
A great workout and a fun game. This team certainly has the swim of things. In Corey Natatorium, I'm Colleen Brown reporting.
I prefer inner tube water polo myself. It's a lot less treading water.
Here at Sports Extra, we try to get athletes involved in what we do.
And there's a new mystery challenger in the midst for Sports Extra's ACC champion fencer. Stay tuned to find out who it is.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Sports Extra reporter Sydney Persing is the captain of the women's fencing team, and she readily accepted the challenge of a rising Carolina star who took her on recently in a match to prove who's really the boss.
Sydney, I have a new challenger for you. And she's on her way. She'll be here in a little while, so you need to get suited up, ready to go once she gets here.
A new challenger? Who?
You don't need to know. It's not important, okay? You'll find out when she gets here.
Thanks, Chancellor DeBell. Good. Thanks.
wasn't really expecting I was going to beat an ACC champion, but I guess maybe I'm just more talented than I thought. Now, Coach was maybe giving me a little help, but I think I got this now.
What a way to go out. We've enjoyed bringing you all things Carolina athletics all semester long.
Yeah, it's been great covering all the teams, and we've had a lot of fun doing it, and it's been a lot of fun to be your co-anchor this semester, Elena.
Thank you, Adam. Right back at you. Well, that's going to do it for this semester of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you.